Well, it's the Tuesday after Easter, so it's what is it, April 2nd. Storms again predicted for today. We've had a bunch of water, a bunch of rain, maybe tornadoes tonight. They're saying hail. Our backyard, that's normally all grass, running down to our nice little drain there to get it past the driveway, because when we built the barn that created a dam. So we had to put the drain in, but this is not near as bad as it gets, but it's not good. And I just moved the car underneath the overhang here, which it normally doesn't sit here, just in case we get hail tonight. I don't really want to fix hail damage, but the good thing for today was I went to a radiator shop, picked up the radiator. So here's one of the oil coolers. This is the oil cooler for the other A4T that doesn't have a motor in it. It had a couple places they had to fix in it. Here's the oil cooler for this A4T, and they went through it, pressure checked it, everything was good on this one, and they put a nice coat of paint on it. And then here is the radiator with the new core in it, the very expensive new core, but again, put a new cap on it. They reattached the radiator, the fan shroud there. It was loose, but yep, we got us a radiator. And so next thing is put it back into that frame, and then we'll get it put back up on the tractor. So we're gonna make some progress here tonight. Hopefully I can do a little bit of this before the storms hit. All right, so I got the bottom radiator hose on before I did that, and I put the second clamp on there. I need to check that to make sure I can access it after I put this up on there, because that is the problem. I might just have to put it on the pump side. But anyway, got the radiator in. 3 bolts, 3 rubber washers behind the bolts, 1, 2, 3 to each side, and then it's just 2 bolts at the top here holding the oil cooler in. So I need to there's the brackets up on top to catch the bottom of the oil cooler once I get it up here. So next thing I need to do is clean off all of my tools off my chest high workbench up here, and decide if I want to put the tank on it now, or I might wait until I get it mounted. Just that'll make things easier to maneuver, I think. And the tank's not very heavy. I can put the tank up there. It's got 2 bolts on top that mount it here and here. And I think I can just wait and do that until it's up there, and I can I think that's the smart thing to do at this point. So just thinking out loud, thinking through this. I've got my belts on here. I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing else I need to do to this on the front end before I put this back up there that's going to mess me up. I can get the top radiator hose later. No, I think I'm good to go. I just need to clean up my tool bench here and set it up here. Well, GoPro battery died again. So anyway, got it up there, used the gantry, got it up there, got it all mounted in. I will say that it's 4 bolts along the bottom, and then there's these bolts at the bottom of the oil cooler, and getting this one lined up was like a nightmare. So but I got it, so that's good. I've got my hose clamp on my radiator hose, and hopefully that doesn't leak. And that's about all I'm going to get done tonight. I'm not going to get the tank on because it took a lot longer than I thought, and it was going to take, and it's starting to rain hard. So we will come out maybe tomorrow night, depending on how things go, see if we can get the tank on, get some more hoses hooked up, and we'll keep working on this thing and get a little bit closer. All right, back at it tonight. Got the hydraulic tank back on. It's just 4 bolts, 2 on either side. That one didn't want to go in very well, but she's a little crooked, but I couldn't keep it from cross-threading. It was a major pain in my you-know-what, so it is what it is. It's back on. I think now what I'm going to do is work on getting some lines under here back on, so that that's one more thing done. If I can accomplish that tonight, that'd be pretty awesome. So I'm going to work on that. One of the things I got to do is bring this metal tube back up and get it plumbed in, and yeah, see how much I can of this I can get replumbed up. And yeah, then I talked to Oliver Phil tonight. He's rebuilding my rear lift cylinders in the middle of working on his truck, so got the bed back on his truck tonight because he's taking it over this weekend. They're going to do more work on the toolboxes. So if you want to see how he's building his new service truck, it'd be a pretty interesting video. Oliver Phil is his YouTube name. And but yeah, he's and I think he's going to come over and get the injection pump here, because this line here I don't think I'm going to put back on all the way until we get the injection pump off. I think it'll be easier to maneuver around that without that line being in the way. And yeah, so I'm going to work on some lines here. Well, that was a whole lot of work, and I didn't get a whole lot done. So I got this line that goes down into the hydraulic pump up here. It comes through metal line, attaches there at the bottom of the tank. And then I tried to put the hose that goes from there to here on, and yeah, I even tried to heat the hose to get it to go on there. There's been some language used in the barn tonight that's not YouTube appropriate. So then I moved on over here, and I was going to put on the hydraulic line that goes up to the top of the oil cooler, and then this line here, this metal line that comes down and then goes there. And it was difficult because it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So figured you put this one on first, because once this goes up in, you wouldn't get it in. That didn't work. So I had to take it off from here and up the top, set it aside, get the top of this started, and then I had to bring this hose up and get it out of the way, because you can see how it's kind of hitting against there. Get this started, which was a real pain in the butt because this hose kept wanting to push against it. Then I had another pain because then putting the top in, it wanted to push against the top. So yep. Okay, so you get the idea. I'm not a fan of these new hoses because everything is tight. So then that hose comes down here and goes on the back of, comes down, loops around, and goes to the back of the hydraulic pump. So let me tell you what the next problem was getting that started on there, because that hose is stiff as can be. And in fact, at one point I was trying to get it started, I let it go, it slipped off of there, and I had just readjusted, thank goodness, because this fitting right here whacked me right in the eyebrow. Had I been different, it would have hit me in the eye, and that probably would have been really bad, because I'm surprised I'm not bleeding. It hit me so hard. So after a whole bunch of finagling and a whole bunch of working around, I got that one to start. So everything is fighting me. I'm gonna have to think about, got my heat gun here, but I'm gonna think about how I'm going to get these hoses on here, because those are stiff. So anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. I've been actually out here longer than I wanted to be because those took so long, but I wanted to accomplish something. And the way my brain works is when I set my mind to doing something, it's hard for me to walk away. So that's it for tonight. We'll come back tomorrow night and see if I can get those other 2 started. And I'm thinking it's not going to be fun. One more thing before I go in, because I almost forgot how this all started out. But I got this hose in up here. It goes to the top of the tank. So that all part at the top of the tank went well. I was feeding this on here. I put my clamp on. You notice there's no clamp on there because these new heavy duty constant tension clamps, I stripped it. So, and I don't have another one that size. So got to go to Napa and get another one. So just one more thing that might make you understand that sometimes you have good days and sometimes, you know, last night was good. Got all this on. Tonight I'm having a battle and I feel like right now I'm losing. So we'll try again tomorrow. All right, I came home tonight, went back to work on these hoses, and it's been another frustrating night. A lot of grunting, groaning, sweating. But I did get these two lines on. They're probably not on as far on this side as I would like, but man, I fought and fought and fought, and those clamps are pretty good. I think I'm good, but those were a real pain. I mean, those are stiff. So I got those on. I got the bracket down here. I just turned off my light. I don't know why. So there's a bracket there that holds that metal tube that goes up, and then that goes through down here, comes down and goes across and goes into the huge line that goes up to the power steering pump. So I got all that plumbed back up. You can see the line I put in yesterday. So then on the top side, this line comes back, and I'll join these later, but I don't want to do too much here yet because we got to get the pump off. But getting that one together is going to be a real pain too. I mean, like, there's no doubt that's going to be a nightmare because those don't line up correctly. If I remember when I took the hose off, this hose had kind of formed itself kind of like this one is, kind of where it makes an S. So this new hose, and being that short, is not going to want to do that, and so that is going to be wonderfully fun, I'm sure. And I did get up way up top this line in here that goes to like a breather, and that goes down and just drains underneath. So tomorrow hopefully I'll get that clamp to replace the one I stripped, and we're making progress. I mean, that's pretty much going to be it up here on the front end. But I don't want to put any of this back together, any of the screens or anything, until I get it full and I see if I have any leaks, and then I'm going to have to address leaks. So it's going to do it for tonight. Again, sweat, blood, maybe some tears. Getting these short hoses on is not fun. You know, the worst is I think some of these are suction, so maybe I didn't need to go reinforced hoses, but I'm just trying. Maybe it's overkill, but I just want everything to last and be good. So that's what I decided to do. Okay, until this weekend, I'll be out here working on this some more. Well, it's Friday evening, and stopped by Napa today, and I got my clamp, and I didn't strip this one out. I also put that hose on there. I was able to tap it on. It wasn't too hateful, and I will, like I said, not going to put that one on until we mess with the pump. What else have I done this evening? Oh, I come over here, pulled the one battery off because there's not a battery tray under it, so that battery's kind of there precariously. Got to get another tray in order to do that. And then I pulled off the old radiator hose, and Oliver Phil had a new one, and I was going to grab from him, and then I went back and looked through the stuff I got with the other A4T, and I found this hose, which is perfectly good. And it is I've got a hose for the other that I'll use on the other one. It's on the 1355 right now, so that's a win. So tonight I think I gotta just go through and mentally check, but I think I can refill the antifreeze tonight and check for leaks. And the old hose, kind of been cleaning up tonight, a little bit of tools, because I got to move the gantry around tomorrow. I got to do some stuff. But here's the old hose in my box of old hoses. But as you can see, it was getting a little bit worse for wear. That's where it was really concerning. I mean, and that was, it wouldn't have taken much for that thing to blow out, I don't think. Again, I was lucky with this running it the way I did when I got it, that nothing blew. So that's where I'm at. I think right now I'm going to put some antifreeze back in this after I go through and just check all my connections are secure, and then I'm not going to be spewing antifreeze out any place that I forgot to tighten. And then yeah, fill it and see if I got any leaks. Hopefully not. All right, got the radiator full, and so far I don't see any drips on the floor. I don't, looking at all my hoses, everything looks okay, which is good. Let it sit overnight and see how it does. But when I put the heater in over here, all those look good. So put the new hose up there. So far, so good. One thing that happened while I was dumping it back in, I already washed out this bucket, but as the antifreeze sat for, I don't know, a couple months here, there's definitely some dirt. That's not oil, that's just dirt that was probably in the system. And the antifreeze was the transport method of getting it out of the tractor, draining everything out. But yeah, there's definitely, so I didn't dump that last little bit of antifreeze in because I could see it was getting pretty dirty, and I put newer antifreeze in to make up for it. So gonna let it sit all night, see how that does, and we'll come back out tomorrow and see what kind of damage we can do tomorrow. Well, it's Saturday, and been doing a bunch of odd jobs. The gator's full of limbs because I had to trim that tree along the driveway there. Had some low limbs that when I'm trailering things in and out tractors, it was starting to rub against the tractor. So I trimmed that up, got the jet out, and the 114, drove the 114 up and down the driveway, still trying to break that motor in a little bit more. It's running good. And I pulled the 7302 propane out and just letting it sit here and idle for a few minutes. It's actually been a few minutes. It idles really nice and just runs good in general. Don't love the Stanley muffler on this one, but it's a good running little motor. I went through it and rebuilt it. And we'll shut her down for now. I want to do I've done some cleanup in the barn. So good news is the A4T doesn't have any antifreeze under it. So far no leaks, which is really good, because it would have been really bad if I had leaks up here underneath the radiator if something were wrong with the radiator. But I don't have any of that, so pretty happy with that. No leaks from any of the hoses. It's a good deal. I am going to say that this steel right here, get a good look at that. That's pretty solid. When you're down here on the ground and you're doing some cleanup and just trying to sweep and clean, and you think that you're clear of this corner and you're not with the back of your head. You know, in movies when they, medieval movies, when they chop somebody's head off, and they ride up to the gate of the castle and they throw the head, and it makes a really kind of weird noise when it bounces across the ground. It's pretty much the sound it made when my head connected with that steel there. Gosh dang, it was an ugly sound and it hurt. And yeah, I've done a good job of not whacking my head on these doors when they've been open and stuff while I've been working on this, but I about knocked myself out this morning. So, oh well. Anyway, just doing some odds and ends today. I need to clean up over here where the jet sits. It leaks a little. I'm going to do some cleanup there. 302 leaks a little. I'm going to do a little cleanup there. And then yeah, more or less, it's just kind of a little bit of a spring clean day. And I'm hoping that Oliver Phil, he's working on his new service truck bed today, getting toolboxes made, but I'm hoping to get the cylinders for the rear of this later today or tomorrow, and then we can get those put back on. And I got the hose up there that connects between the two of them. Got my hose coming down here that'll go to it. And I guess the only other thing I should probably do is wire up my lighting back here. I could get that done while I'm waiting, and I'm still waiting on my fuel tank, but that should be coming before too long. So that's kind of my update for right now on a Saturday afternoon. And yeah, we'll be back later, hopefully with some cylinders. All right, so my buddy Jim came over. He's having trouble with his dump truck here. Bed's not going up, so we used the gantry to pull the bed up, because where we got to work on it is right here underneath. It's where the solenoid and everything is. So you see, we got the gantry strapped up to it. That bed's pretty heavy. One thing I was doing before he got here is I was DAing the nose piece for this so I can smooth it down. I'm going to get some paint on that. But here you can see a little bit better. Trying to figure out if it's a solenoid or what's going on there. We got some blocks stacked in there so this thing can't come down if the gantry fails, but I doubt that the gantry would fail, but always better safe than sorry. All right, it's Sunday. Just made it home from church, stopped at TSC on the way home, got some transmission hydraulic fluid and some 80/90. I've not bought 80/90 in a while, and since I don't farm and I don't buy it by the tote, I was a little shocked at how much the price had gone up, but it's the way of the world. Guess we have an election coming this fall, so we can maybe change things. Anyway, so yesterday I started painting this, and I ran out of paint. So it's the nose piece for the A4T, and it's not in great shape, so I'm not putting like the best paint job in the world on it. But I put some white on it, and I ran out of white, so then I hit black underneath here. The letters are black just because I just sprayed that whole area. You can see I got some overspray up there, but what I'm going to do now is I just taped all this off, and then I'm going to spray the whole thing white again, including the letters will then be white, and then it should look somewhat presentable, because it was kind of green, red, white, and I don't know what other colors before. But that's one of the things on the what I'm going to do today. The other thing I got to do is I got to cut grass. Hopefully it's drying up enough that I can do that. I got to scoop some mulch out of the beds for Mrs. Ohio MM, and I got to do some other work around here today. And I got to go help Oliver Phil, I think, paint the toolboxes for his new service truck. But in the meantime, I'm going to at least get this painted, and then maybe later I'll be able to put some of that fluid in the drop box of the A4T, and I'm going to check it in the differentials too. All right, one coat on. Again, this is going to be a 20-footer. This piece wasn't in great shape, and I can't really sand it. I did the DA on it yesterday, but I can't get much more aggressive than that because it's just not in good enough shape for that. So this will do for now, but I'll let this dry for a while, and the sun today hopefully will help, and I'll get a couple more coats on, and then she'll be good to go. Well, I got my paint on, and I just peeled off my tape off of the black there. So I think it turned out all right for a very quick rattle can job. That'll keep curing out here in the sun, but it'll definitely look better going back on, other than the multicolor. If you go back to any of the other videos this was on, it looked terrible. It is broke a little bit there on the W, and I mean, like I said, this thing's not in the best shape, but for the time being, I think it'll look pretty good on there. Dress up the nose piece at least. Oliver Phil called, so I'm gonna have to head over there in a few minutes to help paint his toolboxes, but I think I'm gonna crack the drain plug on the drop box here and get that draining while I'm gone, and then I'll refill it when I get back. So the drain plug is right there on the bottom, and try to get you guys set up so you can see the excitement of cracking the drain plug. I did get, of the people that told me what to put in here, they said you could put either 80/90 or the hydraulic fluid. And 80/90 if you're not going to drive it when it's cold out, and hydraulic fluid if you might drive it in the winter. And just to be safe, I decided I'm going to go with hydraulic fluid. So you never know when we're going to need a so there's some crud gunk on the plug there, but it's not bad. With that stuff that's coming out, yeah, I would say that's not 80/90. If it were 80/90, it'd be a lot thicker than that. And it's not dirty, super dirty, but it's not clean. So who knows? I mean, obviously it's been quite a while since it's been changed, but I'll just let that drain while I'm gone, and then and I am picking up the rear lift cylinders from Phil, so I'm gonna get those today. So probably what I'll do is put those back on tomorrow when I get home from work. I'll film that, and then that'll be in this video. That'll probably be the end of this video. All right, I'm gonna head on over there and help him get this done, and we'll be back tomorrow with those cylinders. Well, it's Tuesday. Last night I went back over to Phil's to help paint his toolboxes for his new service truck, and this turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. There is, my tape job around the letters worked out pretty well. So I basically painted the middle black. I think I showed that. Taped off the letters and then painted them white, and just left the black there, and then peeled off the tape. The black was probably still not cured enough because the tape took off a little bit of the shininess of it, but oh well. But going over to Phil's, I brought back 2x4s that we used for his paint booth, but underneath there is the tray for the fuel tank on the A4T, and lo and behold, we got rear lift cylinders. So tonight, that are all new seals in them. So tonight I'm gonna get those put on. I'm gonna unload all this other stuff out of the truck, including I also took a fan over there, and we'll see if we can make a little bit of progress. He said he was gonna work on the steering cylinders, hopefully maybe get those by this weekend. Once I have those, I can refill the hydraulic fluid, check for leaks, and yeah, we'll go from there. I did put a little feeler out on Facebook today about if there were any straight sets of rear fenders for these things here in Ohio or close by. I kind of would like to, the other one's got rear fenders and I like the way it looks, and I'd like to put them on this one at some point. I've been spending a lot of money. I really don't need to buy fenders, but I just putting a feeler out there to see what people have. Okay, gonna get the truck unloaded, then we're gonna work on those rear cylinders. All right, so we're back here. I just had to look how these pins go in. These pins have a raised area on this shoulder on this side, and they don't on this, but it goes through, and then there's a plate that goes on the outside to keep the pin from coming out. So I had to remember how that went. This cylinder's got the T on it, so it's for where it comes down from the back of the tractor to it's got there, and then it goes from the T, bottom of the T goes over and feeds the other side. That's the I guess the easy way to say that. that I didn't say so easily. Then I got to get this lined up. And to get that to go through. And it's not going to cooperate, of course. And it's right there. I know it wants to go in. But it doesn't want to go in that bad. I see what it needs. It needs to go up just a little because there is a little bit of space between the cylinder and the bottom there so that it can pivot. And of course, putting that pry bar in there makes it go sideways. Got to get a smaller pry bar. All right, I got it started. It took a little bit of work to get it started in there, but I got it started. I'm just tapping it. Should be getting pretty close to and that worked out pretty well, went right in. So, I'll get you guys up here. Came all the way through and it just sits in there like that. And then there's a plate that goes on the other side there to hold it. The top, I'm gonna have to look at, it needs to go down just a little, but I think I can force it down and then get my pin in the top up there. Get you guys set a little bit better. I'm gonna shut it off and I'll get you guys set up a little bit better. All right, I did the next best thing. Rather than trying to move the cylinder in and out, I went and put a floor jack underneath the 3-point arm to move it around. I'm gonna put a little Angry Farmer on the pin and see if I can't get it started. I already did a little bit of jacking to try to get it close. It looked like it was close, but there's a little bushing in there. So I'm going to try just a slight pump on the jack. I'm going to reach in. I mean, it feels, if anything, let me think here. That's I need to go up a little bit more with the 3-point arm. There we go. And across. So that's good. Now I got to rotate this so I can get my roll pin in. And then I'll see if I can get my roll pin started. And my roll pin's in. So that cylinder's basically done, other than I got to hook up the hoses, and I'm going to move over here to the other side and get that one in, and then I'll hook up my hoses. I'm going to I'll bring you guys back after I get that other one put in. I'll show you how to put on the plate on the outside of it that holds the pin in, and then we'll put our hoses on, and then that will be done. Forgot to mention, yesterday was eclipse day here in Ohio, and I got to see the total eclipse, which is pretty awesome. A lot of people came over here to see that, and probably won't ever see that again. So it's kind of a cool day yesterday. All right, I'm gonna get this other cylinder put in and then we'll finish this job. All right, so I put the other side on real quick. This side, the plate, this is what it looks like. It's a half moon plate. Fits on, it's got 2 big holes. Goes around these bolt heads that come down from that support. I cleaned up, it's got these bolts with the screw heads on it, but anyway, I cleaned up the threads and I put a little Angry Farmer on it. They slide in, one kind of goes behind this cylinder and then one goes below, down low. And then they, of course, oops, sorry, I don't know, just knocked you out of the way there. Trying to get you in close. Then it's a lock washer and a nut on each one. Hope my bald head's not blinding y'all. Well, what's going on here? Of course, you guys are in the way, so I can't. I don't want to knock you out of the way again. I just wasn't on it. And I dropped my lock washer. Get these started. And then just hit them with the electric impact. And we got to put an extension on for the other one. Ouch! Oh, that hurt. I'm not bleeding. I'm all right. Whacked my head on, I think it was the grease zerk right there. So anyway, plate's on. Now the cylinder's not going anyplace. So, I think that's sweat, not blood. All right, now I'm going to put the hoses on, and this project will be done. So what I got to do is I got to bring this hose, and it's going to be a pain because it's brand new. I got to get it started on the top and get it clocked right, and then I'll bring the other one in. All right, that was a whole lot of fun. Getting that top one on with that angle was tough. I had to actually take it loose on the other end in order to get it to start. And then this hose that goes down between the two seemed like it was a little bit long, but I was able to, I thought I was gonna have to go under that plate, but then I remembered it went on top and that was on there. So I was able to get it in so it fits and everything's good. I got that tightened down. And then I went up top to tighten the supply down. I got that tightened down there, trying to put that other one in. There's a nut under there. That's a real, this is taking me some time. But basically right now, I've got the back end completely done. Dang, battery died. Anyway, basically got the back end done. I need to put the lights on, but I can't put the lights on back here until I get the fuel tank back in, because the way it goes up, it's got to go over, and I don't want to have lights in the way. There's the plate all painted up. You know, obviously I walked across it, but it shouldn't rust anymore. I'm going to get some rubber pucks to put on there between the tank and that to keep it from rattling. And I still need, I gotta fill the drop box. I'll probably do that tomorrow night. And then hopefully Phil's gonna have the steering cylinders ready. Then I can refill the hydraulics up here, check for leaks. Well, maybe not, because I gotta leave that hose off to get to the fuel pump. Just remember that. Anyway, we're making progress. So again, thanks for watching. If you haven't watched, Oliver Phil does have a really cool video on making the bed for his service truck, his new service truck, and it's made out of steel. And if I didn't mention it, it's pretty interesting watching him build this thing. It's got a lot of steel in it. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate all the comments, all the positive feedback. Looking forward to getting this thing going here sooner than later, and getting it outside. And then we're almost to show season. I'm ready for warm weather and to start getting out and seeing y'all at shows and yeah, it's gonna be a fun summer. All right, until the next video, thanks for watching.